What happens when a young fruit seller's dreams of a better life collide with the love of a devoted banker and the tempting promises of a stranger from afar? Will her choices lead her to the life she's always longed for, or will they cost her everything she holds dear? Nkechi balanced the heavy basket of fruits on her head, the sun beating down on her with merciless intensity. The marketplace was alive with chaos, vendors shouting, children laughing, and the faint hum of car horns in the distance. She was used to this life, her feet hardened from walking miles every day to sell oranges, bananas, and mangoes. Yet her mind often wandered to the life she wished she had, a life of comfort, where she wouldn't have to count coins to buy a simple meal. Forever. The marketplace buzzed with life as Nkechi skillfully balanced her basket of oranges on her head. She had been at it all morning, navigating the chaos of the street. Then, as if fate itself intervened, a sleek black car rolled to a stop beside her. Out stepped a man whose presence seemed to silence the noise around him. "Excuse me," he called, his deep voice slicing through her thoughts. "How much for everything?" Nkechi froze. "Everything?" she repeated, staring at his polished shoes and tailored suit. "Yes, the entire basket," he said, flashing a kind smile. "Keep the change." That was the day Emeka, a rising banker, entered her life. Emeka was a hard-working banker whose rise from humble beginnings mirrored the dreams Nkechi often dared to entertain. Not one to play around, over the following weeks he found excuses to visit the marketplace, buying fruits he didn't need just to see her again. One day he made his intentions clear. "Nkechi," he began, his voice steady, "I have come to love you deeply. I want to marry you. I see a future with you, and I want to give you a better life. I hope you feel the same way too." Nkechi was beyond elated, she told him. He had fallen in love with him too. When Emeka formally approached her family, his sincerity moved everyone. "Emeka, you are a good man," her father said. Her mother, however, saw an opportunity. "You are a good man, Emeka," she said sweetly, "but Nkechi is still young. Let her finish her education first. That way she'll be a better match for you." Her father was less convinced. "If both of you are ready, why wait?" he asked. But her mother persisted, convincing Emeka to delay the wedding while still providing for Nkechi. Emeka agreed to wait, thinking it was for the best. He paid her university tuition, bought her textbooks, and ensured she had everything she needed. Yet unbeknownst to him, her mother began planting seeds of greed in Nkechi's mind. Behind closed doors, Nkechi's mother saw Emeka as more than just a suitor. He was an opportunity. She convinced Nkechi to ask Emeka for things she didn't truly need, framing it as part of securing their future. New clothes, a smartphone, even money for extra tutoring flowed steadily from Emeka's pockets. Her father, however, grew uneasy. "Don't take advantage of the boy," he warned. "He loves Nkechi. That kind of love is rare." But his warnings fell on deaf ears. "Don't feel guilty," her mother would tell her. "He's investing in his future wife." Emeka kept his promise. He paid her tuition, bought her books, and ensured she lacked nothing. Nkechi was the envy of her classmates, dressed in the finest clothes and using the latest gadgets, all thanks to Emeka. He visited her regularly, reminding her of his love and the future they would build together. By Nkechi's final year, she had grown accustomed to the life Emeka provided, but her world shifted when a friend introduced her to Daniel, a Nigerian-Australian who lived a lavish life abroad. They started chatting online, and Daniel's gifts soon followed: jewelry, designer handbags, and even money. What started as casual conversations quickly turned into something more. Daniel painted a picture of a glamorous life in Australia, far more luxurious than anything Emeka could offer. Her responses to Emeka grew colder, her visits home less frequent, but her father noticed the shift. When he questioned her, she dismissed him, blaming her studies. The more she spoke to Daniel, the more distant she became from Emeka. When Emeka asked why she was avoiding him, she brushed him off with excuses about her studies. Daniel, on the other hand, painted a picture of a glamorous life in Australia, far more luxurious than anything Emeka could offer. He promised her in a wedding to remember when he came back to Nigeria. 2 months before her graduation, Nkechi broke the news to Emeka. "I can't do this anymore," she said, unable to meet his eyes. "I've met someone else." Emeka was stunned. "After everything I've done for you? Nkechi, I love you. We were building a future together." "I was too young to know what love was," she replied coldly. "I have met someone who completes me and understands me. I am sorry, it is over," she said harshly. Her father begged her to reconsider. "Nkechi, don't bite the hand that fed you. Gratitude is everything." But she was unmoved. Her mother, however, supported her. "Let the girl follow her heart," she argued. "Maybe this Daniel is her destiny." Emeka's heartbreak turned into quiet determination. He walked away without another word, full of regret in allowing her deceive him for this long. Meanwhile, Daniel encouraged Nkechi to break all ties with her past, promising to marry her once she graduated. But then, a week before her final exams, Daniel stopped calling. The gifts ceased and her messages went unanswered. She panicked, fearing he had moved on. Finally, he called, but his tone was different. "I've been busy," he said, "but don't worry, I'm still here." What Nkechi didn't know was that Daniel was already married. His wife Maria had grown suspicious of his late-night calls and secretive behavior. Nkechi graduated, and true to his word, Daniel came to Nigeria for their wedding. It was a modest affair, far from the glamorous ceremony she had imagined. He rented her an apartment and promised to process her travel documents soon. "I'll come back for you," he said, but there were signs of trouble from the start. He refused to take pictures with her, claiming he valued his privacy. He gave her strict times to call him, citing long work hours. Alone and pregnant, Nkechi started to get uneasy that something was amiss, but could do very little about it. Daniel had claimed all his family lived in the United States, and so they had only done a court wedding. Months after her modest wedding, Nkechi grew uneasy. The lavish gifts from Australia stopped coming, and her husband Victor, who claimed to be a successful businessman, became increasingly unavailable. Her attempts to reach him were limited to specific times he dictated, and even then, his tone was cold and curt. One day, Nkechi defied his warnings and posted a picture from their wedding on Facebook. She wanted to share her joy with friends and silence the nagging doubts in her heart. Within an hour, Victor called, his voice thunderous. "Take it down now, Nkechi. Do you want to ruin everything?" "What's wrong with sharing a picture of us? We're married," she argued. "You'll regret this if you don't listen to me," he snapped and hung up. Confused and hurt, Nkechi sought advice from her mother, who reassured her that Victor was simply under stress. But her father, who had long been skeptical of Victor's behavior, urged her to tread carefully. A man who hides his wife has something to hide. A month later, Nkechi received an unexpected call from an unknown number. The voice on the other end was calm but chilling. "This is Maria, Daniel's wife. I've seen your picture online. Let me make myself clear. Daniel is my husband. He's been for 10 years. Stay away from him or I'll destroy you." Nkechi's world crumbled. When she confronted Daniel, he denied nothing. "Maria found out, and now my marriage is on the line," he said coldly. "Your marriage? What about us? What about our child?" she cried, clutching her swollen belly. "Nkechi, I warned you not to post that picture. I can't lose my real family for someone like you. This is all your fault. You should have listened to me." With that, he blocked her number and profile on all platforms and disappeared. Left alone, Nkechi faced the harsh reality of her betrayal. Her father's words haunted her. "Don't bite the hand that feeds you." Emeka had loved her, sacrificed for her, and dreamed of a future with her was gone. She had traded his steadfast love for the empty promises of a man who had only used her mother, ashamed but too proud to admit fault, offered little comfort. Her father, though deeply disappointed, helped her where he could. But Nkechi's pain was a burden she bore alone. Nkechi was left alone to raise her child, haunted by the life she had thrown away. Greed and betrayal may offer fleeting rewards, but they often lead to a lifetime of regret. True love and loyalty are treasures that should